Alright, so today's art lesson is going to come from inspiration of this photograph. So we're going to be looking at the way that the light and the dark can be represented on paper. So we're going to be working with charcoal, and just take a look at this photograph. Notice the lightness of the lamppost, maybe the cars, the street, just the areas where the light hits. So we'll start with our blank paper, and the tools that we have to use are charcoal, and eraser. Finally, at the end, we're actually going to be use hairspray as well, but to begin with for now, just make sure that you have close to you the charcoal and the eraser. So this will start by taking the charcoal, not the tip of the piece, but actually you're going to lie it flat on the paper, and moving back and forth nice and evenly, spread the charcoal throughout the paper. You can go a few times side to side, and you'll notice that the charcoal doesn't fill up the paper all the way. So at this point, what we do actually is we take our fingers, and in small circles, we will use our hands, they'll get nice and dirty, to spread the charcoal throughout the paper. So the pores of the paper will take that charcoal. If you want to go a little bit darker, you're welcome to do that. And know that you can also add more a little bit later on. But this is a good place to start. So small circles all the way around. It won't be perfect, it won't exactly be even, but our goal is to make it as even as possible. So we start with a nice gray background. Again, this is to represent the darkness. All right. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to take our eraser, and this is going to lift off some of the charcoal. So from that picture at the beginning, you'll notice where the street lamp had light coming out of it, it was a lot lighter on the page. What we're going to do is take the eraser to lift off the charcoal. So just like that, pushing down and letting it come up as you release the eraser. So we'll start with that. It's not perfect, it's not a perfect circle, but that's okay. We can use our finger to blend as well. What I'm going to do here is take the charcoal, and I'm going to draw a rough sketch outline of the street lamp. Now you can make it the design or the shape that you want, but it's going to be very rough. After you have draw the street lamp with the charcoal, go ahead and blend it in with your finger. Now you'll see we have a very loose outline of the black background, the light coming from the street lamp, and then the street lamp itself being nice and dark. Next, if you want to do another street lamp off in the distance, you're welcome to, once again, remove the light from that area. You can blend it, and we'll do another street lamp over here. So it's not going to be perfect, but what we're playing around with today, what we really want to focus on is the darkness and the lightness, specifically with a nighttime scene. Often we're used to drawing things that happen in the daytime, but today we're going to focus on what's happening at the nighttime. So some of the light is coming from these two street lamps here, so that means that some of the areas right below those street lamps are also going to be lighter. So we'll take our eraser to lift off some of the charcoal from the paper. Now we can add a few other details to this as well. Perhaps in the distance we have a nice sidewalk here, but then there's a road as well. So we could have it really dark in the distance up in the sky. Of course, blending this with our fingers. And in the original inspiration piece, there was some light coming off of the cars. We're driving past, and some more lightness back here from the cars. So any of these dark, harsh lines, we really want to work to blend in. So adding more charcoal as you need, and then blending with your fingers. The darkness up top can really be illustrated by adding more charcoal, and then of course playing around with the lines that you want highlighted. And taking off anything that you want to be nice and light. So this is a quick demonstration of how you can play with darkness and lightness in your drawings using charcoal, using the eraser. You'll have the opportunity to play with the dark and the light with this eraser just by lifting. And then finally, once you're all done, of course this one isn't quite done, but once you are done with your project, what we're going to do is we're going to take the hairspray and you're simply going to spray it about 3 or 4 times throughout the whole paper. So keeping it about 8 inches away from the paper, spray it with the hairspray, and what the hairspray does is it just sets the charcoal in place. So as we put this up on the wall, your finished artwork to display for the class and our community, it won't be smudged because it has the hairspray as a nice layer over top.